Welcome to Global Hub Updates. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Headlines flash across our screens, each one more urgent than the last, demanding our attention and raising new concerns. They tell a story of rising tension, of uncertainty that ripples far beyond the newsroom walls. Chinese Coast Guard ships shadow Malaysian oil rigs, their presence a constant reminder of unresolved disputes and shifting power. Meanwhile, Filipino fishing boats face blockades, their livelihoods threatened by forces far larger than themselves. The South China Sea is a flashpoint where old maps and new ambitions collide, a place where history and modern geopolitics are locked in a tense embrace. The world watches as water cannons and diplomatic words fly, each incident escalating the stakes and drawing in global attention. What is really happening in these contested waters? What lies beneath the surface of these headlines and official statements? The Philippines takes a public stance against China, rallying its people and the world with bold declarations and visible protests. In contrast, Malaysia opts for quiet diplomacy, preferring closed-door negotiations and subtle gestures over public confrontation. Is Malaysia abandoning its neighbors in their time of need, or is there a deeper strategy at play, one that is less visible but potentially more effective? Or is it a strategic move, calculated to protect national interests while avoiding open conflict? This contrast in approaches is striking, highlighting the diversity of tactics within Southeast Asia as nations navigate a complex web of alliances and rivalries. Observers wonder if Malaysia's quiet diplomacy is a sign of weakness or wisdom, a retreat from responsibility or a masterstroke of patience. To understand Malaysia's choices, we must explore the history, economics, and pressures shaping its foreign policy, factors that go far beyond the headlines. Malaysia's actions are not in a vacuum, but result from decades of careful planning, shaped by past experiences and future aspirations. Before judging Malaysia's path, we must understand the map it uses to navigate these waters, the unseen calculations and quiet decisions that guide its course. This is the story of why one nation whispers while another roars, and how these choices echo across the region, and ultimately, what it means for Southeast Asia's future, a future shaped by both the storms we see and the currents beneath. Southeast Asia is a complex web of relationships, where every thread is interwoven with the next, creating a tapestry that is both beautiful and fragile. This intricate network is woven from centuries of history, vibrant cultures, bustling trade, and ever-present security concerns. Empires rose and fell here, from the powerful Srivijaya and Majapahit to colonial powers, leaving behind a legacy of both cooperation and deep-seated suspicion. Today, nations share not just borders, but rivers, seas, and a patchwork of memories, some of friendship, others of conflict and rivalry. The modern era brought new layers of complexity, as cities grew and economies transformed, drawing the region closer together yet also highlighting differences. After gaining independence, these diverse nations came together to form ASEAN, a regional bloc designed to promote peace, stability, and cooperation. ASEAN operates on the principles of consensus and non-interference, which has helped prevent major wars, but also makes it difficult to present a united front against external pressures or internal disagreements. Economic ties add yet another layer to this already intricate web, as trade and investment flow across borders, shaping daily life and national priorities. Southeast Asia is deeply connected through trade and investment with economic giants like China, Japan, South Korea, and the United States, making the region a vital crossroads of global commerce. For Malaysia, its economy is especially dependent on global trade, with China standing as its largest trading partner, influencing everything from exports to infrastructure. Disputes over rocky outcrops and maritime boundaries must be carefully weighed against billions of dollars in trade and the livelihoods of millions. Security concerns tie everything together, as nations work to protect their sovereignty and maintain peace in a region full of strategic choke points. Many Southeast Asian countries have forged security partnerships with the United States, participating in joint exercises and sharing intelligence. They must constantly balance the economic benefits offered by China with the security guarantees provided by the US, walking a tightrope between two global powers. This delicate dance of diplomacy, economics, and security requires incredible skill, patience, and a deep understanding of both history and the shifting currents of the present. The South China Sea is a crucial maritime crossroads, serving as a vital artery for international trade and commerce. Each year, 1/3 of global shipping, including essential goods and raw materials, passes through its lanes, making it indispensable to the world economy. Trillions of dollars in trade rely on this route, underscoring its economic significance. For the countries bordering this sea, its stability is not just important but vital for their national survival and economic prosperity. Beneath the waves, vast reserves of oil and natural gas promise energy security and economic benefits. Malaysia, as a significant producer, heavily relies on these resources for revenue and to ensure its energy security. The competition for these valuable resources often drives regional tensions and disputes. The sea is also a vital source of food, with its productive fishing grounds supporting millions of livelihoods. However, overfishing has severely depleted fish stocks, intensifying competition and threatening food security. For China, the South China Sea holds strategic importance that extends beyond mere resource extraction. Control over this sea would secure vital naval pathways and protect crucial trade routes, enhancing China's regional influence. China's construction of artificial islands and military installations poses challenges to regional security and stability. For the United States and its allies, these actions threaten the principle of freedom of navigation, a cornerstone of international maritime law. The South China Sea is not just a regional issue, but a stage for global power dynamics, where the interests of many nations converge and sometimes clash. The conflict centers on overlapping claims. China's 9-dash line asserts sovereignty over most of the South China Sea. This claim conflicts with the exclusive economic zones of other countries. These conflicting claims lead to real-world friction. Chinese vessels patrol and shadow Malaysian exploration efforts. This intimidation asserts presence without conflict. Fishermen face harassment, impacting food security and stability. The Philippines took China to an international tribunal, winning a legal victory. China rejected the ruling, leaving the Philippines with no enforcement. Malaysia supports international law principles, but avoids public legal challenges. Malaysia and China's relationship is built on a deep economic partnership. China is Malaysia's largest trading partner, with immense goods flow. Malaysia exports palm oil, electronics, and gas to China. China invests billions in Malaysian infrastructure and technology. These investments create jobs and transfer technology. Maintaining good relations with China is crucial for Malaysia's economy. Historical and cultural ties also play a significant role. Malaysia was the first Southeast Asian country to establish diplomatic relations with China. This long history fosters trust and dialogue. Malaysia handles disputes quietly to avoid economic fallout. Established diplomatic channels de-escalate situations. This approach is rooted in pragmatic national interest. Malaysia balances economic ties with sovereignty protection. The Philippines and Malaysia take different approaches. The Philippines publicizes incidents and strengthens U.S. alliances. Manila's strategy is high risk, aiming to deter Chinese aggression. It relies on allies like the U.S. for support. Malaysia opts for quiet diplomacy, handling incidents through back channels. Malaysian leaders emphasize dialogue and peaceful resolution. This strategy is often misunderstood as weakness. From Kuala Lumpur's perspective, it's pragmatic and low risk. Malaysia avoids public confrontation to protect its economy. It works within ASEAN and through direct talks with China. This allows Malaysia to protect sovereignty without jeopardizing relations. It's a strategy of patience and persistence. Malaysia's foreign policy is a masterful balancing act. It balances economic ties with China and security needs with the US. Every decision is calculated to maintain equilibrium. Malaysia avoids loud protests, but upgrades military capabilities. It affirms disputes must be resolved by international law. Malaysia keeps its economic engine running with strong China ties. Economic doors remain open, creating a positive context for discussions. Malaysia maintains good security relations with the US and others. It participates in joint military exercises as a hedge. This network of partnerships avoids dependency on any single country. Malaysia navigates geopolitics on its own terms. Stability and prosperity are always prioritized. ASEAN plays a central role in regional challenges. It operates like a diverse family, emphasizing consensus and consultation. This approach maintains peace but complicates unified positions. The South China Sea tests ASEAN's consensus model. Member states have different interests and ties to China. China prefers one-on-one dealings over a united ASEAN. Malaysia remains committed to the ASEAN process. ASEAN provides a platform for smaller nations to speak collectively. Malaysia plays a key role in ASEAN-China Code of Conduct negotiations. This commitment explains Malaysia's measured approach. Regional problems require regional solutions. In the South China Sea debate, simple labels are misleading. Malaysia is pro-Malaysia, driven by national interest. Its foreign policy secures prosperity, security, and survival. Economic stability is crucial, with China as a major partner. Malaysia defends sovereignty through quiet diplomacy and military upgrades. Regional stability is a priority to prevent conflict. Malaysia invests in ASEAN-China Code of Conduct negotiations. Different countries make different strategic calculations. The Philippines aligns with the US for confrontation. Malaysia balances major powers for safety. Understanding these choices requires looking beyond accusations. Global affairs are complex stories of competing interests. The first step to understanding is to keep learning.